Okay, everyone can hear me. Yeah. Who's excited for this training? We're going to do a quick mindset training. It will help a lot in trading, in business. It can help anyone who's not even in trading or business. It's just literally a call to kind of go through some negative thoughts. So today's topic will be negative thoughts. Today's topic will be around kind of how to deal with that, how to progress with the negative thoughts, because we're all locked in, right? So everyone, we're all locked in a house. We have so many thoughts going on because we can't distract ourselves. So this is you right now, put me, this is me. Like if this is you, put this is me. Me, who in this chat right now have got so many negative thoughts in their head? Put me. And there's loads of you guys. Be honest with yourself. If you have negative thoughts going on right now, put in the chat me. Let's see how many people right now have negative thoughts, right? This isn't a training just because we want to do a training. This is a training because we need to do a training, right? This is a training because we need to do a training. So I'm going to go through some ways to help that. Obviously, I can't eliminate your negative thoughts, but one thing I can do is show you how I deal with negative thoughts, okay? Does that sound fair, guys? I can't get rid of your thoughts, but I can definitely help in showing you how I deal with mine. So obviously, I don't know if all of you guys know me. My name is Tyreen. I do trade, I do have business, I do it all. And I have also got negative thoughts. So we can't always just be perfect, right? We can't always be above and beyond. We can't always be happy. Like that's not what happens in life. Once guys, the cats will not stop fighting these days. Like you can hear them in the background. It's so annoying, but whatever, we'll move on. So he'll come now. Okay, cool. Guys, I'm going to share my screen with you guys and we're going to go through this. Yeah, cats in quarantine are insane. I've never seen my cats fight like this and they just want to stop fighting. I feel like they're just sick of humans. They're probably sick of me living in this room with them. Okay, I'm going to share my screen, guys, and we're going to go over this training. What I want everyone to do is first smile, put your camera on, get a notebook and pen on, because then at least that way I know you guys are listening, right? Do you know how annoying it is training people and you have no screens, so you just think that everyone's just sitting there and you're like, what is going on? So I'm going to where did I save this? Let's do this. Okay, cool. Guys, I did no, that's not what we want to do. I did a quick training for you guys. Okay, this is a completely random training. If you guys are grateful for this training, you should speak to Louise. She did it, all right? She did it. She wanted this. Okay, cool. Let's start this. Right, guys, if you're excited, put 111 in the chat. Put your hands up, put your thumbs up, because I don't even see if I can see the chat. Okay, cool, guys, let's get some energy. I don't know what time it is wherever you are, but right now we have loads of energy. I don't know why. I think it's because the cats are fighting. So let's do this. Okay, key ways to overcome negative thinking. Write that down, guys. We have got key ways to overcome negative thinking. This is super important. You understand what this training is about because we need to go through this, okay? So, ineffective ways people try to stop, okay? First way, distractions. This is where they're trying to distract themselves. They drink, they get high, I don't know, they do reckless behavior. They just try and distract themselves, right, with negative thinking. Next way, diversions. This is where they come up with problems, right? So you have a problem and then you come up with another problem to distract you from the original problem. Ineffective, guys. Third way, drowning your sorrows. Okay, now this happens a lot, right? I think it happens a lot, especially in our community in IM, because everyone's very much about, you know, speaking and training and mentoring, that a lot of people then get into the habit of drowning their sorrows because someone's listening, which is amazing that we have people that listen, but that is still an ineffective way to deal with stress, okay? It's still an ineffective way to deal with negative thinking, because drowning in your sorrows is probably the worst thing that you can do because you're staying inactive for a longer period of time. Next thing, moping in the past. You know, if you lose a trade, you mope about losing the trade, or if someone leaves your business, you mope about someone leaving your business, or forget about money, right? Let's just forget about money on this training for a second. Let's talk about other things, because it's not always about money. Someone leaves you in a relationship, someone cheats on you in a relationship, your family are treating you badly, you're in an abusive relation, whatever the situation is, people do think about it, and it has added trauma to their lives. And this is something that you have to understand, that if you overthink the past too much, that also is an ineffective way to stop overthinking negative thoughts. And then obviously overthinking, we all do it. Put 111 in the chat if you overthink all the time. I feel like everyone here is an overthinker, right? Everyone's here. You all jumped on a training. You know what the training's about. That means we all suffer from overthinking. I am one of the worst for that. Literally, if you speak to anyone in my team and something does not go my way, people are like, it's okay, it's calm, don't worry about it. Like all the time. It could be 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, overthink loads. That is still a problem, guys. That's still a problem. So my story, okay? So my story is very nice and simple. It was about a year ago. I was tired. I was depressed. I was anxious. I had no personal development. I didn't even know what personal development was up until I am, which is amazing to think that. Imagine what I would be like without it. I realized money does not make you happy. So I had a well-paying job. I did a master's. I did everything you're supposed to in life. And I had the job, I had the title, everything that you want. And then when you get to that point and you realize that you're still not happy, then I knew that money does not make you happy. Okay, this is a key thing. I know we join, say for instance, we start trading because we want money, right? I'm going to tell you, when you get that money and you're still not happy, there's an issue right there, because when you get too much money, what happens? So this is important training, guys. It's not always about how to make money. It's actually how to sustain money as well, how to be happy with money, and just kind of get it in the first place. So not too long ago, well, about a year or just before I joined, actually, I lost everything in terms of mindset. I lost everything because I stopped eating, I stopped drinking water, I stopped everything in life. I stopped speaking to people. I tried to hide away from people. And this wasn't anything connected with money. This wasn't, guys. It's nothing to do with money, because I had it. So something happened in me where I was super, super down and super depressed. And I'm telling you now, it was because I had so many negative thoughts. Yeah. So I had so many negative thoughts. If this sounds familiar to you, put 111 in the chat. If this sounds familiar to you, like you've heard this before, you don't have to say it's you, but you've heard this before. You've heard that money doesn't make you happy. You've heard that, you can get depressed and sad, and it's just from thoughts, right? And that's anxiety paying you up. That's anxiety doing something to you, and that's your thoughts. So this training is kind of how I dealt with that. How for now, like, I'm super grateful for life. I'm super grateful. Even if I had no money in the world, I'm not scared, right? I'm not scared. Even if I had nothing in the world, I'm still not scared, because at the end of the day, it's your mind, right? That's the most powerful thing that you have. So next thing, step 1, this is what I want everyone to write down, because I know people would have heard this, yeah? I know people would have heard this. I know people have done personal development, but just write it down, get it into the habit of, like, what have we learned today? So step 1, and I want you guys to write it down. So Z, I see you not writing, so go and write down. Yeah, I see. Yeah, no, you're not jumping on training and not writing something down. No one has ego in this. No one knows everything. I'll tell you that now. Everyone is still day 1 student. Okay, step 1, recognize and step back. Okay, so this is what you need to do. Recognize your thoughts. Patterns are repetitive, and if they're unhelpful thoughts. Now you have to recognize something. You have to recognize when you're anxious. You have to recognize your depressed thoughts. You have to recognize it's actually supposed to be fear, worthlessness, shame. These are the things that you have to recognize. Okay, so if you are overthinking right now about something, does it cause you anxiety? Does it cause you depression? Does it cause you fear? Does it cause you worthlessness? Does it cause you shame? Right? You have to recognize that, because people who pretend to be happy in front of people and they put on a facade, and then behind closed doors, they're trying to tell themselves as well that these thoughts will make them happy, and it doesn't. So you must recognize this is something you need to do. Now, what you need to do in step 1, after you recognize that thought, so imagine you're anxious about, I don't know, some people right now are anxious about trading live money, or some people are anxious right now of speaking to people, or they're just anxious, right? So you have to recognize that you're anxious first. You have to then realize that these thoughts are not reality, okay? you have to understand you can't take thoughts too seriously, because they are just thoughts. They are not your reality yet. Okay, they're not your reality yet. So if you're thinking, okay, if you've gone into a relationship, I know people do this, especially females. If you go into a relationship and you're like, okay, he's going to do this to me, he's going to leave, he's going to do that, blah, blah, blah. And the same with you guys as well. Like, if you go into a relationship and you think the worst, then you have to realize that your thoughts will affect that. Okay, so let me tell you something. If you wake up and think, oh my God, what a horrible day. Oh my gosh, another day. Like, I have to go through this again. You have to understand that day has not happened. So how do you know that's a horrible day, right? You're going into something and you have to recognize that it's just a thought. So if you have a dark, deep, negative thought about a situation, you're like trying to preempt something that hasn't happened. Does this make sense to you guys so far? Yeah? Does this make sense? Does it make sense that you're not supposed to you're supposed to understand first you have the thought, and then you have to realize that's not reality yet. People think their thoughts are reality, right? People think that if something happens bad, like if something in their head happens, that it's gonna happen. Like, I know people who speak to me on a daily basis and they say, oh, we shouldn't do this or we shouldn't do that because, you know, people won't like this or people won't like that, or, you know, they might leave. And then you're thinking so much in your head that you're thinking that that's reality, but it hasn't happened yet. This is a new day. Today, we don't know what will win or what trades will come in, or, you know, what person we speak to, what happened. Like, we don't know anything. We have to understand that whatever feeling that we feel, it has not happened yet. So I'll tell you an example. I used to go into relationships thinking, okay, this is going to end in failure. This is going to end in heartbreak. So in my head, I was like, no, this is going to end. I don't want to put too much into it because then it's going to end and then I'll feel even worse, right? And then I came to think about it and I thought, okay, cool. So if I'm thinking that's going to happen, it actually happens for one. It's just creating a new problem, a new anxiety that you don't need. Problem is believing our thoughts are true when they're not, okay? Believing that the thoughts are true. This is a problem, okay? If you think that you will fail and you think that's reality, that's a problem, okay? So step one is recognizing and stepping back. So what we're gonna do is, if we have a thought, we can write it down, we can do whatever we want, to recognize that thought, and then we have to step back and realize, hang on, this hasn't happened yet. This has not happened yet, so why do I think it has? That's crucial, guys. Crucial, crucial, crucial. Another thing that we should do, and you can write this down, is name and tame, okay? So name and tame basically is a strategy that I've done. It stops giving all your attention onto that thought and realizing it's not a reality until you make it your reality, right? So what this means is, you think that it's going to happen, you name it, like, okay, I feel like this is going to happen, you name it, and then you tame it. So taming it means stop paying attention to it. I know this is so basic, I know everyone needs this, but you came onto this call for a reason, right? You came onto this call for a reason. You need to hear this information. So if you have a thought, a negative thought, something that gives you stress, anxiety, depression, whatever the thought is, shame, fear, you have to say that to yourself and then stop paying attention to the thought, okay? If you keep thinking, oh, this is going to go bad, this is going to go bad, this is going to go bad, you're paying so much attention to that thought that you're not taming the beast, okay? At the end of the day, we all have negative thoughts, but it's down to the people who pay attention to it the most, okay? It's the people that dwell on it the most that become the most unproductive. They are ineffective in whatever they're doing because they're paying so much thought into negative mindset that it's not creating them results, okay? So if you catch yourself giving so much attention to the negative thought, you have to do this. You have to go back to the present time, okay? This is something I practice all the time, right? If you guys have me on Instagram, you will see I have this spot where it's the sea, and you can see it like it's in a car park. At the moment, I would love to leave it, but I'm a bit scared of germs. But I would go to this spot, and I did it yesterday, right? I'd just go and see, it's behind my house, and you see the sea, you see the sun, you can see some cars going past, and it's just such a beautiful spot. If I feel like some sort of way, what I do is I go back to that spot, right? I feel the fresh air. Well, I don't anymore. I feel my car aircon, but I look at it at least, right? I look at it and I look, okay, this is actually beautiful, right? This is actually beautiful. Like, my problems are nothing, right? This is cool. This is nice. So what you need to do is go and find yourself a spot, guys. It can be in your, you can't go far, right? So go in your garden, find a spot. If you don't have a garden, okay, sit on a wall. I don't know. Find a spot. Even, and I say outside. My honest opinion is outside. I know you could do it. You know, people meditate in their house, and you see all these YouTube videos about 5-10 minutes in the corner or whatever. But in my opinion, I say go outside and feel some fresh air. Okay, feel the fresh air and look at something beautiful, something natural. Go out and look at it. Come back to the present time. And this is crucial, guys. People forget to do this. People go to moan to other people, which is great. Okay, we're all mentors. We love hearing you moan. But this is what you need to do, okay? You need to actually speak to yourself calmly, okay? People who dwell on pain and suffering, and they go to their friends and family, and that's fine. But you need to actually speak to yourself calmly, because one day maybe that person that you go to is not there. Then what do you do, right? So if you have a negative thought, you need to speak to yourself calmly and say, it's okay, right? And speak in the most calmest way. And you have to say it out loud. This is what I do. I say it out loud. I don't care if people think I'm crazy, whatever. I will talk to myself all day, every day, okay? So you have to speak to yourself calmly out loud and say, it's okay, this has not happened yet, okay? And even if it has happened, you can say, it's okay, it's happened, I'm still here. Two ways of looking at it, okay? The worst has happened, you're still there, right? Hope, fingers crossed, you're still here, happy, breathing, you're still on trainings and trading. But second thing, if it hasn't happened, okay, cool, this hasn't happened. Why are you crying about it in your head, right? You have to understand there's two ways around it. But the key thing here is A, nature. I really say go outside. And B, you actually speak to yourself. Now, people are so scared to speak to themselves because they're scared of what they're going to say, okay? This is why you need to tame it. You need to actually calm yourself down and realize, you know, we're in a lockdown situation. Every person on this planet is scared. Everyone. There's no one here not thinking, okay, cool. If you're not worried about your health, you're worried about your money. If you're not worried about your money, you're worried about your family. If you're not worried about, you're worried about everything. The news is a constant reel. Do you know why we don't know what day it is? It's because every day the news is the same. Every day we put on the news and it's a repeat. Okay, this has happened, this many deaths, this many infections. The Prime Minister did this, government did that, blah, blah, blah. Same news all the time, right? You have to restrict yourself from news, and that's a fact. Like, I purposely only see, if I see the news, I see it like once now. If you keep watching the news over and over again, you're going to create so much anxiety. B, if you're doing the same things every day, your thoughts are not getting that information, that new information in their head. So you start creating problems in your head, right? So this is super important, guys, that you do name and tame. Name and tame is a really great way of understanding. Don't put too much attention onto the thought that you have, accept that you have it. I'm not saying hide it, don't divert it, don't distract yourself from it. Accept that you have it, and then realize, do you know what? I'm not going to focus on this today. Okay. If someone's giving you a headache, if there's an issue that you have in your life, it's okay to say, you know what? It's okay. I'm not going to focus on it because I can't change it right now. I'm okay. I will deal with it another way. Next thing, step 2, coming to senses. This is the best way, and it kind of is related to the last one. You are only ever worrying about the past or the future, right? That's a fact. You're only worried about what's happened, or you're worried about what's going to happen. Okay, you're not really worried about the moment right now. Like right now, we're all sitting on this training. You're not worried about sitting on the training, but you are worried about something that's happened in the past or something that's going to happen in the future. You have to come back to the present time. Okay, what is happening right now to you? Are you hurt? Yeah. Are you physically hurt? Are you physically in pain? Are you not breathing? Right? You have to come back to the present time. Right now, we are so happy and grateful that we are here on this training, right? We are here on this training, regardless of all of our situations above us, like that's going on. We are all here together, by the way, together, and we can just cope with that thing one at a time. You have to use your exact senses at the exact moment. So I want you guys to all do this right now. Write down what you can hear, what you can see, what you can smell, and what you can touch. Write that down. I'll give you like 5 seconds, 5 minutes, whatever. I'm red, I don't care. What you can hear, what you can see, what you can smell, and what you can touch. Literally, write it down right now. Cool. Nice and done, yeah? Now, this is a great way, this is an amazing way to come back to where we are right now, yeah? What you've just done has actually diverted yourself from whatever you were worried about to coming back to the present time. So if you find yourself, if you've lost a trade, right, or you're scared to go into a trade, or I don't know, whatever issues you have, right, just come back to this exact exercise that you've just done and realize, hey, we survived that, right? Like, look, we're here right now. We can do all of these things, okay? We can do it. We should be grateful that we can. So that's step 2. Step 3, right? And I'm going to speak it out loud so you guys can hear the questions. Write helpful questions for unhelpful thoughts. Helpful questions for unhelpful thoughts. So you have an unhelpful thought. Let's put it in the chat. Guys, put in the chat an unhelpful thought. Put in the chat an unhelpful thought. Let's go on to this. Put in the chat an unhelpful thought. Write it down. Any unhelpful thought. Any unthoughtful help that you've had. That, yeah, unhelpful thought. So by that I mean, you know, I don't know, whatever's worrying you right now. So not the actual worry, but what's the actual worry? What is the worry? So write down, what is the worry? What is the actual thought that you have things? Comparing yourself with others, unhelpful, 100% unhelpful. Procrastination, unhelpful thought. It's not actually the procrastination that's the unhelpful thought. It's the thought that's creating the procrastination. Not making it, finances. Okay, so these are all the thoughts that you're having, right? The unhelpful thought. Now I'm going to ask you, yeah, life obstacles, 100%. Now I'm going to ask you guys, is this thought that you have right now helpful or useful in making you money? Yes or no? Put in the chat. Is this thought that you have right now helpful or useful in making you money? Yeah, you know when I tell you something that I have, and I've always had this unhelpful thought, is when I had a very, very, very bad toxic relationship, and I used to obsess over that toxic relationship. And when that question was asked to me, because someone asked me this, right? They said, is this thought helpful or useful in making you money? Because my goal is to make money. So that's my goal. So that makes sense. And I realized, no, this thought isn't going to make me money. This is actually going to this is going to distract me from doing that, right? Not everything's about money, of course. But if I'm focusing on making money and then I'm distracting myself from making money, it's an issue for myself. So whatever thought. Now, let me ask you another question. Is the thought that you're having right now even true? Is the thought that you have right now even true right now? You know, in your head, say money is a huge issue and you're like, okay, I'm going to be homeless, right? Is that even true right now? Or, you know, say you're procrastinating and you're never going to grow your business, or you're never going to grow your trading account. Is that even true right now? Is that thought even true? That worry, has that worry actually happened? That's what the question is. Next thing, is this an old story that you keep playing over and over again? Is this an old story that you keep playing over and over again? Have you failed before and now you think you're in constant failure? That's what you need to ask. Have you failed before and are you in fear of constant failure? This old story you keep playing in your head, is it going to change your reality right now? Yes or no? This old story in your head, is it going to change your reality? Yes or no? Exactly, right? Does this thought make me take effective action? Does this thought make me take effective action? So when you're thinking about it, the actual thought, does that make you take effective action? super important that you guys understand that negative thoughts put aside don't help you take effective action, right? So we have to understand, how can we change our thoughts to make us take effective action? Obviously these trainings will help, guys. Obviously the educational platform will help. There's so many ways that you can take effective action, but we physically can't make you take that action. Okay, we physically can't go to your house, knock on your door. I have done this before though, I'm not gonna lie, I have done this. Go and knock on your door and then log in for you. Yeah, we can't physically do it. I mean, I can try, but you will probably punch me in the face. But yeah, guys, you have to understand, negative thoughts will not help you take help you take effective action. So I'll give you another example. Someone I know couldn't really hit the goal they set, right? They had a goal, and a really obsessive goal, and the deadline went and they couldn't set it and they didn't hit it. So they thought about it over and over again. They were like, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I could not do it. I wanted to do it. I could not do it. And it's so funny because the person spent like 2-3 days worrying that they couldn't hit the goal. Now, do you think this is effective action, guys? What if they just kept going, right? What if they just kept going? What if they didn't stop? What if those 3 days, they weren't overthinking it, they just did it, and they probably would have hit the goal? Do you believe that they probably would have hit the goal if they just stopped thinking about the fact they didn't hit the goal? We do a lot of personal development, right? We do a lot of personal development about goal setting. 100%, I'm all for it. I really strongly believe in, if you visualize it and we plan it, we write it down, we set ourselves tasks, we do the goals, we do it. But the other plus point that you have to understand is, it's okay if you don't hit it when you're supposed to hit it. We're still here, right? We're still here. Like, some people might take years to do something. They're saying take 5 years to do anything successfully, right? Take over. That's 5 years. You give yourself uni, 3 to 4 years. You give yourself a job. If you want to go from the bottom to the top, you give yourself 10 years. That we have to understand, guys, it's okay not to hit the goal. What's not okay is obsessing about not hitting the goal. That's the problem, right? Our thoughts are our feelings are our actions are our results. So that's why we have to make sure that if we're thinking about the thought, is that going to make us effective? Is that going to make us take the best action possible? Now, another thing, is my mind just talking to itself? Yes or no? Is my mind just talking to myself? Yes or no? Right? Yes or no? My mind is just talking to myself, right? Guys, a lot of us, we are in the marketing business as well, and we like to talk. We get paid to talk. So it's kind of like, we get paid to talk, but then are we over talking to ourselves? 100%. Yeah, 100%. Our chats are always blown up, right? Our chats are always talking. Yeah, I think it's banter. I like it. It's jokes. It means that I'm not overthinking in a corner by myself. Look, I'm sending weird shit to all of you. I like it. It means that I'm not talking to myself. Guys, if your mind is talking to itself, go and talk to other people. Go and talk to other people. Go and inspire someone in some way. Go and send a joke. Eddie, I think that we got you to send that video to all the parents in that group. That was jokes, guys. That is a sense of relief, right? We're going to talk to someone. Make a joke out of it. Yeah, life is shit right now. We know. This has not happened. We are all in World War III. We are all in World War III, guys. I don't know if you don't see this, but I know we're in World War III. In the history books, this will be World War III. Guys, we're not supposed to be happy all the time. No one's saying it's going to be perfect. No one's saying the markets are going to go your way. We can't control Trump tweeting. That's not our fault. You lose a trade because Trump's tweeting. Don't blame us. Well, it's not us. That's life, right? We can't win it all, okay? We can't stop Trump tweeting. So what can I say? Let's just keep learning and move on, right? We're learning a skill for life. We're not here just because we want to do it right now. We know we're not going to be Chairman 100 tomorrow. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. All that matters is how we speak to ourselves. Now, next one, what is the truth? Okay. When you're worrying about something, is that the truth? has that happened yet? So the question is, has it happened? When you're worrying about something, has it really happened? Let's be honest. You're worrying about something. You know, some people might not have, you know, whatever the situation. Guys, even if it does happen, you'll survive, right? Even if it does happen, you'll survive. You know, our chairmans, you know, 3 chairman 50s and 1 chairman 100 that we had were homeless, no home, nothing. And look at them now. Guys, even if the worst happens, it's not the end of the world, right? Those thoughts, even if it does happen, you know what's crazy? My thought when I was really anxious and scared actually came to reality, right? So what I was worrying about actually happened. I genuinely did lose everything that I set up. And then when it happened, I realized straight after that, it's not the end of the world. And now looking back at it, it was the best thing that happened to me, right? So you got to imagine, even if the worst happens, it turns out to be the best. So you have to just take it on. These things that happen right now to you are for you, okay? They're working in favor for you. You're all on this call for a reason. You're all joined for a reason. There's no competition here. There's no race. There's nothing. All we do is improve ourselves day by day. Next question, how can I move forward? Okay, how can I move forward? Thinking about it doesn't work. Obsessing over it doesn't work. Not doing anything about it doesn't work. So how can I move forward? And that's what we need to practice. Okay, how can we move forward? And I'm saying, talk to people, send some jokes, like joke, just laugh in the situation. Final thing that I want everyone to practice in during this time is something that I'm very, 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 very heavy on, is mindfulness. I know before when I started thinking about mindfulness and even yoga and meditation, I used to think, no, it's not really for me. I'm more of a practical person, and I'm a red, right? So money orientated. But mindfulness is something that really, really helps. And this is what I do. Imagine the ocean, I close my eyes, and imagine perfect stillness, wholeness, and peace, right? There's loads of videos on YouTube for this, guys. There's so much that you can see. There's resources galore on mindfulness, and just practice it. They say 10 to 15 minutes a day will really reduce the risk of depression and anxiety. And it really, you know, I actually tried counselors. That didn't work. Gym helps as well. But mindfulness just kicks you back into the present, okay? And try practicing this once a day. So when you wake up in the morning and you go to bed, even twice a day, wake up in the morning, go to bed, try mindfulness. And it really does calm your thoughts a bit. And guys, if you're happier, people around you will be happier as well. So that's the thing that we need to focus on. Finally, guys, because obviously we had a fire training, hang these notes up in your room and make sure you look at them every day. Trainings are not the work. So let me be clear. This training that you hopped on is not work, right? This is not work. This is not a money-making activity. Okay, this training is not a money-making activity. You could have hopped on, you could have not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't physically make you money. Trainings are here to help you become more productive. Being on this training is not work, like I said, and actually doing the training will help you progress. So you actually being here, taking the notes is one thing. You actually doing it is another, okay? So if you hopped on this training, put it into action, because I tell you now, everything in this training, and if you do it every day, will help you in everything that you're trying to achieve. The key thing here is education is the key for self-doubt. If you lack confidence in something, just feed your brain with new knowledge, okay? If you want to build on trading, you've got unlimited resources on trading. If you want to build on resources, you've got unlimited resources on business. But in general, if you want to build your skill set of patience, self-care, love, like, you need to actually increase the knowledge of it, okay? So find out the root of the problem that you have. Now, the final thing is, we are all on this chat going to fail our way to success. Okay, we are all going to fail and fail and fail our way to success. You're sad today? Cool. You're sad tomorrow? Cool. We're going to fail and fail and fail our way to success. The only reason the successful people are successful is because they didn't care if they failed. Yeah, they just did not care. So you not winning all the time is fine. Okay, you overthinking is still fine. It's just you have to understand that you will fail your way to success, and the less that you worry about perfection, the happier you'll be. We don't care for a perfect world. We don't. We just want it to be a happier world. Okay, so that is my training for today. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah, fail forward, exactly. Fail forward. Anyone have any questions? What I'm going to do is I'm